welcome back. Let's talk about tools for a minute. I'm not the sort of person that goes and spends a fortune on tools. I don't go to Strap-on or those kind of companies to get whole sets of sockets and stuff. I just buy what I need as I need it. So, for example, here I have a 90mm socket. I needed that, so I went and got one. These are just a few dollars each. Now, yeah, are they cheap? Absolutely. But it did the job, so that's all I care about. So these are the sockets that I've used, and I bought them one at a time as I needed them. You know, there's 15, 18, 19, 16, and probably the most important is a 10mm socket. Now, other tools that I've bought are a breaker bar and the 1/2-inch drive, which I had to tape on because it kept falling off, which is a pain in the butt, but there it is. Now, the only thing with Harbor Freight tools, well, there isn't a thing with Harbor Freight tools. I think they're great. Sometimes the build quality and the finishes aren't quite as nice as your strap-on type tools, but who cares whether the chrome's the shiniest or there's a ding in it or not? I don't care, do you? The only thing I broke was this. This is a 1/4-inch to 1/2-inch or 1/2-inch to 1/4-inch drive. Now I sheared that off, but it wasn't a defective tool. It was defective use. I had that plugged into that, plugged into that. Okay? So there's no wonder that sheared off. It wasn't defective, it was just bad use. Now, if I took this back to Harbor Freight, they would 100% give me a new one. But I'm not going to do that because I broke it. It's my fault. I'll just go buy a new one if and when I need it. So, a few things that I haven't bought from Harbor Freight are the 54mm socket for the main nut of the front, which I think if you watched my previous episode, that's what I did then. I had to buy that through Amazon. That was fairly cheap too. The other thing is, you can make tools. This is my flywheel retaining tool. Stops the flywheel moving when you're cranking with this and this. It looks crap, but it did the job. It took me, a couple of hours to make it. It's rough, but it did the job. So that'll help me put the nut back on when it's time to do that. Now the other tools that I bought are things like, I haven't even opened these yet. These are torque wrenches. They were so cheap, I bought every size they had. This is a 1/2-inch, this is a 3/8, and this one is a 3/4. Now, let me show you what I mean about build quality. Now, they come in a nice case. With some paperwork. Now, if you take a close look at this, you can see around here that the finish is not, it's not bad at all really, but it's not as good as a strap-on tool. But this, I've only got to use it a couple of times. Now, they're like 20 bucks, they're not that expensive. If I break it the second time I use it, it's okay, it's paid for itself. But I dare say this will last me a lifetime. Now, the last thing that I bought from Harbor Freight was a brass hammer. And if you watched last week's episode, you will know what this is for. So, back to the engine. I'm not going to tear this down just yet. The last thing I'm going to do on the engine for a little while is to remove the flywheel, and we're going to get it degreased, and that's as far as I'm going to go for now. I don't want to leave all the internals exposed to the environment until I'm ready to put it back together. So when I take it apart, I will be putting it back together you know, straight away, relatively fast. So to that end, if you would like to see that engine rebuilt, it would be wonderful if you'd buy some merch. Links in the description below, theroryproject.com. That's theroryproject.com. The RORI project.com. Alright, on with the build. Not the build, the unbuild. Oh. So I think I'm just going to have this facing down, like that. Gloves always a good idea. And now using a 2-pound brass hammer, I'm going to gently encourage this off. I think that's it. I think I got it. Yeah. Wow. There's one flywheel. We'll set it to one side, and I'm going to just bring it back upright. Let's move you guys just a little bit closer over here. So here you can see the keyway. Have to get that out somehow. Take that out. That's quite an important part to keep. That, awesome. Make sure we put that to one side with that. So that's as far as I'm going to go with the teardown. Getting the 54mm nut off was huge. Getting the flywheel off was relatively easy. All you need to do is get that Harbor Freight 2-pound brass hammer. I think it was like 20 bucks, $26 I think it was. That's quite an expensive tool for Harbor Freight. So the next thing I'm going to do to this is get it all clean, as spotless as I can on the outside before I do the teardown. So in next week's episode, we're going to go back to the preservation of the actual car itself, do some cleaning, get the bodywork taken care of, polished, and that's it. So thank you for watching to the end. Please buy merch. It'll help the Rory Project.